Please don't be hot. Please don't be hot. Please don't be hot. Too hot. Okay, not too hot. Not decaf. Today, I'm rocking some hot cocoa, and I don't think it was too hot. I didn't burn my mouth, which is a good thing. The last thing you want is a burned mouth, especially when you're starting to stream live onto YouTube or wherever the heck you happen to be streaming or recording any kind of video. I am live right now. Can you hear me? Do you hear the echo? That's me telling me I'm live, because you never really know, honestly, anymore as far as YouTube is concerned. I'm not even sure if notifications are necessarily going out or how long it takes for you to see when I'm going live on YouTube. I've been doing this for the past few weeks now, going live on Saturday afternoons right around this time, if only to commiserate, to chat, to say, how are you, to see how your week went in tech. And I even scheduled it earlier today so that you would have been made aware if you have the notifications turned on, and hopefully you do. I just wrapped up another conversation that I would say was technical, techish. Oh, hang on. There's my zoom in. You can see my files for 3D printing back there. I needed to use the second screen because it's Saturday. I was watching Saturday morning cartoons. I had the cartoons up on the big... Come on. What are you supposed to do on a Saturday morning? Apart from eat cereal, which I didn't do because I saved that for the evening, and because I'm an adult. Brenner, it's a thing. Look it up, Google it, or Bing it if you want. I don't care. AltaVista if you want. If you still use AltaVista, I mean, you may still be a Lycos user for all I know. Anyway, I wrapped up a separate conversation over on MakerDeck's channel on Twitch. Ooh, can I even say that on YouTube? I said Twitch. I said it again. Hopefully YouTube does not get mad. Hopefully Twitch does not get mad either. Anyway, I had a conversation that went a direction I was not expecting. Ghost stories. I was hearing about Titan's Revenge experience being a ghost hunter and his ghost stories. And I gotta tell you, even listening to ghost stories kind of freaks me out. I wasn't expecting that at all going into the conversation. I thought we were going to be talking about 3D printing and filament and the experience with being a 3D printer and a maker. Well, not physically being. I 3D print things. I am not physically a 3D printer that I know of. Good to see you, Ray. Morning from Australia, or morning your time. It is early afternoon my time. Good to see Irie and Daniel Terry, Infinite Loop Tech. How you doing? So the big news this week, and feel free before I start going down this path, a couple of actually bits of news hit my radar for tech. Ask questions, and here's why. I'm experimenting now with YouTube Shorts in this channel, where you can ask me a question, and I can answer it in a short. I did that on a regular old community post and got at least 2 done, and we'll be doing the next short either today or tomorrow, wherein you ask a tech question, I answer it. You can answer my question for me if you want. But the other shorts would probably go if I did another question anywhere else. I would probably post it to my personal YouTube channel. So Ahmed is basically asking the question that I wanted to dive into first. Elon and Twitter. So, as I've shared before, I am not in the church of Elon Musk. I don't want a Tesla. I know too much about them to know enough, especially from people who've had to repair them. Not to say they've given me horror stories, but I don't know if quality control is necessarily there. And just because it's new tech and it's exciting tech doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best tech. I know that probably just made your brain explode. But it's true. I know Tesla is the it car. And I know so many people love Elon Musk. I think his background has certainly been illuminating. As I've learned more and more about how he got to where he got and what he's done. Can't say I'm a fan. Honestly, can't say I'm a fan. I'm on Twitter. I've been on Twitter from the early days, and despite not really thinking Elon is thinking, I'm not going to leave Twitter. That's not my plan. I connect with too many people there, because that's the thing. It's not so much the platform as it is the people. So with Elon basically uprooting like these pillars from within the company, it makes me wonder, will the platform improve? Will it wither? I don't think it will wither with intention. I think the way it withers is by people leaving. And en masse. Like for years and years and years, people said, oh, Facebook, Meta, right? People have been complaining left and right. Oh, Facebook sucks. Facebook's not going anywhere, people. Like you can complain all day long. I hear you. Yeah, you don't like Facebook. You don't like Meta. Got it. Feel you, man. But not enough people leave. And if not enough people leave and the value prop doesn't change, it's the same thing with smartphones, right? Y'all complain about one thing or another, but if you don't leave, they're never going to fix it. They're never going to address it. It's no point. That's why I see all these things, hey, I'm just as guilty. I buy Apple products. I'm just as guilty, right? It doesn't mean I sing their praises, but I buy them. Just to have the experience, right? Just because I need another camera. I got to know what I'm talking about. I can't just sit there and say, well, yeah, Apple's this and Apple's that if I don't have the experience. And many of you have caught me up You've caught me up, certainly on news. You've called me out when I've talked about experiences that I haven't directly had, specifically like with foldables. Although I did speak, I feel in general, to how I feel about foldables and flippables. Not a fan of those at a distance. Still waiting for a little more time to pass before I adopt one for myself. So Elon just feels like one of those characters who sucks the air out of the room. And quite honestly, that makes Twitter not a great place. Twitter's not around. It's not about one person. It's not about one particular group of people. It's about everybody and everything. And you can custom tailor your feed and your experience to how you want it to be. At least today. That could change. I mean, honestly, anything goes. Twitter could improve or it could drastically decline in terms of usability. Now if Elon fixes the scrolling lag issue that we've seen before, certainly on Android, if not iOS. Although iOS, I don't think it's as pronounced or hasn't been. If he can fix the lag issue, I gotta say, bravo, right? If he can add features and functionality that we might have wanted, didn't realize we needed, but wanted, all right, okay, I'm feeling it. But if he starts making decisions that run counter to the feel of Twitter, as in, nope, we're forcing the algorithm. Nope, we're reversing lifetime bans, and this is a place for everybody. This is where I kind of like, I don't know about that. Yeah, see, let me tell you, as someone who produces content and who has definitely banned people, there's a reason they got banned. It's a very good reason they've gotten banned. Very few people have come back years later and apologized, knowing they were in the wrong. But, there are some people out there who are never going to apologize. They won't apologize for their behavior. So, I think he's... Nilay Patel wrote an excellent article on The Verge. Welcome to hell, Elon. Like, he's going to get... The content moderation is what's going to trip Twitter up if he makes the wrong steps. What'll make Twitter better? I like the idea of him turning it into an X for everything, right? Like WeChat in China, which we obviously do not get here in the States. It's an everything app. And I guess I don't mind that. Here's the caveat. Facebook is the X app, right? And we all know how that turned out. Sorry, is turning out. It's concerning. I am cautiously ambivalent. I could go one way or the other. Again, not a fan at all. In fact, I tweeted at 3 a.m. because I was still awake. I was like, I've never been more proud to not own or never want or ever want a Tesla, a car from him. Not my thing. And honestly, his personality, while somewhat playful, can be grating. And I get tired, and I start unfollowing people in my circles when they accelerate these types of accounts that are just windbags. I'm saying it, like they suck the air out of the room. I'm like, I don't need this. I just don't. They either get muted or they get unfollowed because I can't do it any other way. So hey, you tweet what you want to tweet. You do what you want to do. You leave if you want to leave. You stay if you want to stay. But that was probably the news that impacted me the most this week. You think Google's already the X platform? Kind of. They never really figured out social or communications. How many chat apps has Google done? How many are they going to do? Whilst Elon's products need a lot of attention, he's valuable as he's pushing the envelope unless other companies need to innovate also to compete. Yeah, Ray, I don't disagree with more competition. I think it just feels too much like one person in charge of everything. That's my concern. I don't want a king. I don't want a dictator. And it was bad enough with Facebook doing what it's done in the direction it's taken. Twitter has there's a likelihood that Twitter will go the same direction or worse. But I can't read the tea leaves and predict the future. All I know is that it ain't going to work the way that I think he thinks it's going to work. We'll see. We'll see what he does with his critics. We will see. And trust me, there are plenty of critics to go around. You've never used Twitter? I've been using it for the longest freaking time. And I've enjoyed the updates that they've rolled out steadily. I feel like Twitter has not evolved enough, has not changed with the times, but it's slow. Like it's really slow in terms of adapting and changing and evolving. It's been really slow. I don't think that Twitter should water down its core value prop. Just a tweet. 280 characters used to be 140. That's how Twitter old I am. When it was 140 characters, you had to say everything. When retweets were definitely different too. Before they were an official part of the platform, you had to manually retweet. It was RT, right? That's how you retweeted. So I certainly hope for the best. I'm not preparing for the worst. I don't think there's an alternative at this time. I don't know what it'd take to make an alternative. It would take, apart from a lot of time and the right infrastructure and the right plan. I mean, I don't even think if Jack Dorsey created a Twitter clone, people would flock to it. Not in mass. Twitter's got too much velocity behind it. And I'm not saying it's too big to die. Hello, MySpace. Hello, Dig. I mean, both of those platforms withered almost overnight, catastrophically, because they changed in some fundamental way. And so that's the risk that Elon runs with this as a service. So I'm in the middle. Honestly, I'm in the middle. Instagram doesn't even have a proper iPad app. Yeah, but Instagram was never really meant to be a web app. It was always meant to be a mobile app. And mobile, I guess iPad is mobile, but other news this week I caught the Pixel. This was news to me at least, is the first Android 64-bit device. Full 64-bit. No 32-bit in there. I'm like, that kind of shocked me. The first one. Pixel 7. So that is, put a check mark in that column. That's impressive. And I accelerated that tweet and I said, tweet, I live on Twitter, right? Because I use TweetDeck. By the way, while we're talking about Twitter and TweetDeck, the update they're pushing down the pike for TweetDeck is horrible. It is catastrophic. It doesn't understand what TweetDeck was or is. If they roll it out in its current state, it would be very difficult to keep using TweetDeck or Twitter on the web. It's just not like the old TweetDeck. And the old TweetDeck, not perfect, but they've made some wrong decisions with the new TweetDeck. They've eliminated a lot of functionality, unfortunately. Namely, in the same deck, I can see a tweet and accelerate that tweet from a connected account. In the new TweetDeck, I have to switch decks to the second account. So it works more like the traditional Twitter experience, and I think that's what they're doing, is they're basically adding a separate style sheet on top of the core Twitter experience. And it doesn't work. It really doesn't. It's bad. It's laughably bad at how they've missed the mark with the new TweetDeck. How bad. So there's an example of how something can change for the worse. Yeah. So there. So anyway, I'm on Twitter. I accelerated the tweet. It's so easy to do. It's where I go. Like, it's not everything to me, but as far as like my usage is concerned. Let's see here. Do I have a digital well-being here? Give me a second. I'll pull this up. Digital well-being. Yeah, I think that's what they call it. Digital well-being. Let's launch that app. Yeah. Twitter, camera, keep notes. Oh, so like Twitter's there. Like nothing else even registers. Because I'm not in Facebook a lot. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on TikTok a lot. I'm on Twitter. So I see what Twitter is. I know what it is. I know where it could fall short. The fact that Google didn't announce that officially and didn't market it is questionable. Well, here's the thing, Ahmed. I don't think people care. And I mean this direct. You care, I care. It's interesting to us because, all the benefits of 64-bit, faster, opens up more memory, yada, yada, yada. But the average user doesn't care. Saying that's a full 64-bit system isn't going to get people to buy a Pixel. It won't. I mean, maybe a nerd, possibly, but like the average user, no. And remember, Google doesn't produce Pixels for power users. They don't. Not saying a power user doesn't like what the Pixel has to offer, but the Pixel is specifically designed as an alternative to the iPhone. So they're going after and they're focusing on the average consumer or the below average consumer, converting them. And so selling a 64-bit value, it's not even going to register. It won't. Oh, that's something. Oh, 64, that's twice as good as 32. Oh, got to get that. That sounds good. I'll go with the 64-bit. Yeah. Yes, please. It's not, they don't need to advertise it. That's one of the reasons why it was a shock to see it. I'm like, oh, but they don't need to. That's not Google's game. You'd think about buying one for that, but see, you're an edge case. The average user doesn't think about it. I would like to see, and I think it'll happen eventually, I would like to see other manufacturers move that direction. That's going to probably take time because they have to update their software on top of Google software. Samsung, that was what I quote tweeted. I'm like, all right, your move, Samsung. Will they? I don't know. S23 is right around the corner. Heard good news. Even though I don't put a lot of faith in rumors, allegedly, the S23 is going to be getting that 200 megapixel camera for better low light photography. Tangentially, I guess, and it hasn't happened for me yet, but Samsung updated their app for Expert RAW. That's what they do for RAW photo stuff. They updated it apparently this week. Seeing if I've got the update yet. No update yet. They updated it this week specifically to add astrophotography. So they're adding that to the RAW camera, which is interesting. I'll be using that. I'll be trying that. But low light photos will stand to be improved. They're also going with faster storage options. What is it? I think it was... Give me a second. I want to... Not being a hardware nerd. Give me a second. UFS 4.0? Yeah? UFS? Right around the corner. Fast. Blazing fast. Of course, a newer processor. So the S23, or specifically the S23 Ultra, sounds like it's going to be a very nice bump from the S22, if only for the optics and the speed of the SSD. So I'm very much looking forward to that upgrade. And let's see here. It's almost November. Geez, 2 days away from November or so. So November, December, January. 3 months away or so. And then we've got the One UI 5.0 rolling around the corner. I haven't gotten mine yet. They haven't really released it here in the States, at least not that I know of. Daniel let me try this again. Fornaroli says, bought a Tab S8 and it's so much better experience than an iPad. Thank you for your advice, Chris. Hey, Daniel, I told you. Some people say, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to be the one to tell you so, or say I told you so, but I'll be the first one to tell you I told you so. People have written off Samsung and they shouldn't have. The Tab experience for an Android tablet, especially with Samsung DeX, is fantastic. It schools the iPad. Absolutely schools. I mean, you see how it handles multitasking? I feel Google and Samsung did a better job with multitasking on that than Apple did on the iPad, despite controlling the hardware and the software. I mean, it's you got to see it to believe it. You got to use it to understand it. And having used both, the only thing that would get me back to an iPad ain't going to be the speed. It's going to be knowing that it's a better software experience, and Stage Manager ain't it. Although there are other rumors, not that I want to get into rumors, that there's going to be a 16-inch iPad. I'm like, well, I guess. You knock yourself out. If the software is the same, you can make the screen the 68-inch iPad. I don't know. I did buy this week, probably do an unboxing, a fun boxing here in this channel. I have another one that I got a Stage 2 for. I got the clamp. Little penicillin will clear that up. I got the holder thing for putting the phone on the back of the iPad. I was going to do a quick little video here in the channel. Very, very easy to use, straightforward. In fact, that may be a short. I may end up doing that as a short, because just doing a full-on video doesn't make that much sense. Because it works, and it works very, very well. I got a new Apple TV. It's not here yet, because it hasn't shipped for anybody. I got the 4K one because of Thread support. I don't have any devices. I don't really do the smart home crap. So I don't really have any devices that are even Thread compatible, or there's a future for Thread compatibility. So I don't I don't have the need for it yet, but when Matter and Thread are more prevalent and we do get devices that are compatible, it would be nice to have that on the network. Plus, I did something this past weekend experimenting with Ventura, and I extended the screen on the Mac to the Apple TV. I've got my old Google TV, like the original Google TV, sitting across the way from me here. And MakerDeck is up on it 24/7. But I thought, well, newer network, Wi-Fi 6, that's an upgrade. Speed, it's an upgrade. Not that I use it. I don't use it for entertainment as much, but it's there for MakerDeck. And then as a backup, if I need to extend my monitor, add another monitor to the mix, or mirror a screen, it's an easier way of doing it. So for this room, I'm not going to go with the Google TV, with a Chromecast with Google TV. But for the bedroom, my entertainment go-to service is still, or product, device, whatever, is the Chromecast with Google TV, the 4K version, which after the recent Android 12 update, I'm not saying is blazing fast, but they've definitely made it snappier. You can move around the system. It's much better. Much better. Heard about Apple nerfing audio experience with the new AirPods Max firmware update. So ugly if it's true. Haven't had the experience. I saw Snazzy was complaining about it, though. And he's more of an audiophile than I am. Trying One UI myself made me really interested about seeing Samsung doing a new platform completely against Android and iOS. I'm not saying it will happen. It would be interesting. They do have Tizen. That never really truly went anywhere, but you never know. You never know. Right now, though, with the apps and the app support, you need to have the ecosystem in place in a big way. And even the biggest players like Microsoft couldn't pull it off. Talked about that this week on the short for the Windows Phone, for sure. macOS for iPad rumor make me laugh hard. I could see macOS on an iPad. I could. It's got the processor. Everything else is just it's got to be a touch optimized experience, which kind of brings you to a theory. No rumors, but a theory that the reason why macOS is running iPad apps and how the system preferences change to system settings and works a lot like the iPad OS on the desktop. Well, they've prepared it. They've prepared macOS, or are starting to prepare macOS to be run on a touchscreen device. I could see that happening. I could. I mean, system settings, one example. I don't think it's for UI cohesiveness. Because honestly, I don't think the iPad apps, or the apps that have been pulled from an iPad aesthetic, the home app not runs. It just the user experience is garbage. So many animation jumps and jank on the app on the Mac. I'm glad I don't use smart home stuff because it would drive me nuts. That app is not great. The weather app, not bad. Definitely could stand a little bit of improvement, but it's not bad. Clock app is fine. But they're iPadifying to a certain degree the desktop on Mac OS. And I think there is a big potential of Mac OS going touchscreen in some future form. They may say, okay, this year we're releasing Mac OS Everest or whatever, and it is an operating system that's optimized for both non-touchscreen and touchscreen devices. Microsoft tried this. And Apple has been doing great with hardware lately, but their software game ain't what it used to be. Stage Manager for iPad. Ugh. So, uTorrent asks, have you found a way to turn off iPhone over-sharpening photos? I think RAW photo fixes it to some extent. Yeah, if you shoot in RAW photo, I've found that it is better, but I don't carry the iPhone enough to shoot in RAW. What does it take up? Like 48, not terabytes, gigabytes of space? 48 megabytes? How big is it? How big? Not gigabytes. It must be like 48 megs per photo. That'd add up. So yeah, I mean, if it handles things better, I say shoot in that mode, and then convert from there. Like I said, I haven't spent that much more time with it. I mean, I still have the iPhone. It's connected to this. No, it's not connected to this computer yet. I could connect it to this computer wirelessly using Reincubate Camo, and then mount it as a webcam. But I don't want to. Here, I guess now that I say that, watch me. It is using Camo. At least last night when I had it, it was. No, it's not. I thought it was. I was gonna flip to the camera, but it's not gonna work that way. It made a liar out of me. I made a liar out of myself. If you think about it, Samsung has the biggest ecosystem already with the smart things they sell. It's true, and maybe we'll find our way there. Maybe Samsung is thinking that direction anyway. It's got I mean, if I was Samsung, I'd be thinking, well, what if Google doesn't always want to play ball? What if? They got to be thinking that. You got to think about that with any ecosystem partner, right? What if they don't always want to play ball? Then you're stuck. Not a good feeling. Especially when you make your money. Devon asks, hey, Fujo, what is jank? Jank is when you're scrolling along and it jumps, or the judder, the choppiness. You can see it happening on Lenovo Yoga Type MacBook Pro. Oh, yeah. Ahmed notes that I'm right. Every new UI update since Big Sur felt like it's touch-based, even Control Center. Well, that's what I'm saying. The elements, the thing that would keep them from, I think, doing it is the menu would have to be, if they screw with the menu and they add padding where it doesn't need to be added. Like the menu bar items, some of my menu bar items are just so long, I'd have to scroll. I mean, it would be catastrophic. It's bad enough they've got a notch, on the screen. Ugh, catastrophic. But it is what it is. Or it will be what it will be. My hot chocolate is now lukewarm chocolate. What time is it here? It is 2:29 p.m. And honestly, that is give me a second. I gotta get email back to Jedi's teacher. I'm trying to get into Jedi's class. Not physically. And we go around and around and around. Dynamic Island on macOS? It could happen. Although it would work differently, I think. I wouldn't mind it. I don't know if I'd use it. But like I said, I enjoy hanging out with y'all once a week. So thank you for popping in. Hey, Zombie, I was just about ready to head out on this fine Saturday. Thank you for joining briefly on MakerDeck. Zombie's one of our directors over on MakerDeck, making sure people are rotated properly on MakerDeck for whatever they happen to be making. uTorrent01, that sounds like a great question for me to answer in a YouTube Shorts. I'm going to answer that in a Shorts, if you don't mind. Great question to answer there. What do I think about Apple executives leaving Apple all of a sudden? It's time to cycle through. It's a company. People come, people go. I have no thoughts on it one way or another. Oh, no worries, Zombie. It was just a bunch of tech babbling. Technobabble. Ever since they had to reset, this is not tech, but they had to reset my pad, it's been hurting me. It's been digging into my nose. It hurts. About to head off to the beach? Well, that sounds great. I'm going to sit in the rain. We'll enjoy each other's company. I may end up shooting another short today to publish, so stay tuned for that in your feed. Thank you for joining. Thank you for asking questions, because that, I feel, the questions you ask are going to be great shorts fodder that I'll cross-post to Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and everywhere they want you to post short videos these days. Vine. Oh, Twitter had it. They had no idea, but they had it. They had it. Would I work for Apple? Sure. I don't think they'd hire me, though. I mean, I say that. You never know. I've been a critic. I wouldn't know what to do, because they don't really do a lot of community engagement stuff. Or user advocacy. That's not really Apple's thing. Apple's more like, we do what we want and you like it. Or else. I think that's their marketing slogan, is it not? I love you. I appreciate you. And at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices, and may the force be with you always. Until next time, we'll see you later. Oh, thanks again for liking this video and